right, so we're diving deep today, folks. Ready to unlock the secrets of mastery.
Let's do it.
We're tackling Robert Greene's Mastery today,
Yeah.
using this really cool animated summary from Antidote on YouTube.
It's a good one.
If you're looking to level up in, well, anything, this deep dive's for you.
Greene's book is packed with practical advice.
All right.
It's not just theory, it's about taking action.
We'll be covering everything from finding your true calling.
Your life's task, he calls it.
Right, that life's task.
Uh-huh.
To the nitty-gritty of apprenticeships.
Which can be tough,
Oh, tell me about it.
but so rewarding.
And we can't forget those master mentors.
They're game changers.
Absolutely.
Mentors can accelerate your progress like nothing else.
We'll even explore the power of social intelligence.
So important.
Because who wants to be a lone wolf genius?
You gotta connect with people.
Exactly.
It's not just about skills, it's about people skills too.
And if that wasn't enough, we'll even touch on unleashing your creativity.
Oh yeah, getting into that dimensional mind of yours.
Sounds kind of trippy.
It is, in a good way.
It's all about expanding your thinking, breaking
Yeah.
those mental barriers.
Exactly.
So first things first, finding that life's task. Right.
That's the foundation.
Greene's book emphasizes that it's not about chasing fame and fortune.
It's deeper than that.
Right.
It's about connecting with your inner drive, that sense of purpose.
Like a fire in your belly.
Exactly.
So how do we even begin to uncover this life's task?
Well, the video outlines 7 strategies from Greene.
7. Okay, lay them on me.
All right, first one, think back to your childhood passions.
Like what I loved to do as a kid.
Yeah, those early interests, they often hold clues to what might truly fulfill you as an adult.
Interesting. What else?
Second strategy, find your niche.
You mean like specialize?
Exactly. You can't be a master of everything, so focus your energy.
Go deep, not wide.
Exactly. Mention a well-known expert in the listener's field.
Oh yeah, they're amazing.
They didn't try to master everything. They found their niche and became a leader in their field.
Makes sense. What's the next strategy?
This one's a bit of a warning. Avoid those false paths.
Oh, like what?
Chasing a career just for money or status.
Yeah. Been there?
It might bring success, but not necessarily mastery.
True.
Okay.
Good, what else?
Brace yourself for this one. The time commitment.
Oh no, how much are we talking?
Greene suggests at least 20,000 hours.
Whoa, that's a lot.
It is, but if you're truly passionate about something...
It won't feel like work.
Exactly. Mention a highly successful person in the listener's field.
They're so passionate.
They've clearly put in the time, that they love what they do.
That's inspiring. Okay, next strategy.
This one's about blending work and life.
Like finding a work-life balance.
Kind of, but more about integrating your passions into your daily life.
So that work energizes you, not drains you.
Exactly. How can you make that happen in your own life?
Good question.
Oh.
Okay, what's next?
Greene encourages us to let go of past mistakes.
Oh, man, we all make them.
It's okay to change course, even if you feel like you've messed up. It's never too late to find your way back.
I like that. What's the last strategy?
This one builds on the previous one. It's about actively finding your way back if you've strayed from your calling.
Like hitting the reset button.
Exactly. You can always reevaluate, make a change, and find that path that truly resonates with you.
So it's never too late to course correct.
Never too late.
He also mentions 3 overarching principles, right?
That's right. They kind of tie everything together.
Or what are they?
First, revisit your childhood. Like we talked about, those early passions can provide valuable insights.
Like digging for buried treasure.
Exactly. It's about unearthing those clues from your past.
Awesome. What's the second principle?
Broadening your concept of work. Greene wants us to see work as more than just a paycheck.
I like where this is going.
It's about finding fulfillment in the work itself, aligning with your values, and making a meaningful contribution.
So it's not just what you do, it's why you do it.
Precisely. And the final principle.
Hit me with it.
View your career as a journey, not a destination.
Oh, I like that.
Mastery is about continuous growth and evolution, not reaching some end point.
So it's an ongoing process, always learning, always growing.
Exactly. Embrace the journey, the twists, the turns. It's all part of it.
Okay, so we've got these 7 strategies, 3 principles for finding our life's task.
It's a great framework.
But how do we actually start putting all this into practice?
That's where the apprenticeship comes in.
Ah, yes. Chapter 2 of the book, The Ideal Apprenticeship.
This is where the real work begins.
We're rolling up our sleeves and getting our hands dirty,
It's about immersing ourselves in learning
pushing ourselves to develop those foundational skills.
and building resilience.
Because it's not always going to be easy.
Oh no, it's a challenge.
That's where the growth happens, right?
Absolutely. The video breaks down this phase into 3 stages.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Deep observation, skill acquisition, and experimentation.
Sounds like a plan. Let's break them down.
Starting with deep observation. This is all about becoming a sponge, soaking up knowledge from those who excel in your field.
So like finding role models and studying them.
Exactly. Pay attention to the details, the strategies, the nuances.
Like a fly on the wall, observing the masters.
Exactly. Imagine you're watching a master chef in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Observing every move, absorbing every technique.
It's about learning the rules of the game before you try to change them.
Precisely.
All right, what's next?
Skill acquisition. Time to put in the work. Practice, repetition.
This is where the rubber meets the road.
Master one foundational skill at a time through focused practice. Think of a musician practicing scales.
Seems kind of tedious.
It can be, but it's building that solid foundation for mastery.
Like building a house, you need a strong foundation, right?
Exactly. And Greene specifically cautions against multitasking.
Oh man, I'm guilty of that.
Especially in the early stages, focus on one skill at a time.
So no more juggling a million things at once.
He emphasizes concentration, avoiding distractions.
Makes sense. But he also mentions that this phase often involves boredom, right?
Yeah, that initial tedium, it's crucial for building focus and discipline.
So embracing the boredom is actually a key to mastery.
In a way, yes. It's about pushing through those uncomfortable early stages. Like,
Working out, no pain, no gain.
it takes effort to reach a higher level of skill.
All right, we've observed, we've honed our skills. What's next?
Experimentation. Time to apply your knowledge and skills.
This is where it gets exciting.
Push beyond just following the rules, get creative, break some rules.
Like a chef who takes those foundational skills and creates a brand new dish.
Precisely. And Greene provides some unconventional strategies for this stage.
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
One is to prioritize learning over earning.
Wait, what?
In the early stages, sacrifice short-term financial gain to focus on mastering your craft.
It's like saying, I'm investing in myself.
Exactly. Even if it means living frugally for a while.
Makes sense. What other strategies does he suggest?
He encourages us to constantly push our boundaries.
Get out of that comfort zone.
Seek out challenges. Embrace discomfort.
Growth happens outside your comfort zone.
Exactly. Like, mention a successful entrepreneur in the listener's field. They didn't shy away from challenges.
They took risks and it paid off. What else?
Cultivate a beginner's mindset, even as you gain expertise.
Always be learning.
Approach every task with curiosity, seeking new things to learn.
Like, mention a well-known expert in the listener's field.
They're always evolving.
Exactly. Never stop learning, even when you become an expert.
That's the key.
Okay, what else?
Trust the process. Mastery takes time.
Ugh, patience is not my strong suit.
I know, but it's crucial.
All right, I'll work on it. What else?
He encourages us to lean into resistance, seek out challenges that push us beyond our limits.
Like a weightlifter going for that extra rep.
Embrace the struggle.
It's going to be uncomfortable, but that's where the magic happens. Okay, what other wisdom does Greene offer?
View failures as learning opportunities.
Easier said than done.
Analyze your mistakes.
Learn from them. Don't dwell on them.
Use that knowledge to improve.
Okay, makes sense.
Even mention a highly successful person in the listener's field has had their share of failures.
Really?
But they learned from them and came back stronger.
I guess everyone fails sometimes.
It's part of the journey.
All right, what else?
He emphasizes combining the how and the what.
I'm not sure I follow.
It's not enough to master the technical skills, the how. You also need to understand the deeper meaning, the what.
So like the purpose behind your work.
Exactly. Like, mention an artist or innovator in the listener's field. They didn't just master technique. They infused their work with meaning.
It's about having both the skills and the soul.
Beautifully put.
What's next?
This one's for our younger listeners especially. Advance through trial and error.
Oh, I think that applies to everyone, really.
You're right. We never stop experimenting.
So what does he say about this?
He encourages trying different things, especially in your 20s. Explore different roles, techniques, approaches.
Like trying on different hats.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Avoid locking yourself into a rigid career path too early.
It's a time for exploration, figuring out what you really want.
Exactly. And that brings us to the last strategy. Avoid the rigid path. Don't limit yourself to a single career trajectory.
So be open to possibilities.
Allow your career to evolve organically.
Like a winding river, not a straight canal.
Beautiful analogy.
Okay, so we've covered finding our life's task and navigating the apprenticeship.
Two crucial elements.
But what about when we hit roadblocks?
That's where mentors come in.
I knew you were going to say that. Chapter 3 of the book,
Hmm.
Absorb the Master's Power.
The mentor-protege relationship is essential for mastery.
I'm excited to dive into this, but before we do, I'm curious, what makes mentorship so transformative?
Imagine having someone who's already walked the path you're on.
Someone who's been there, done that.
They've learned the lessons.
They can share their wisdom, help you avoid pitfalls.
Think of, mention a successful person in the listener's field who had a mentor.
Oh yeah,
They wouldn't be where they are today without their mentor.
it's like a shortcut to wisdom, a map to navigate the terrain.
Precisely. And Greene highlights some key strategies for successful mentorship.
Okay, let's hear them.
First, choose a mentor who matches your needs.
So not just someone you admire.
It's about finding someone whose expertise aligns with your goals.
They need to have the specific skills and knowledge you need to develop.
It's like you wouldn't hire a plumber to fix your electrical wiring, would you?
No, definitely not.
Same with mentorship. Find the right fit.
Okay, found a good mentor. What's next?
Greene uses this phrase, gaze deep into the mentor's mirror.
Sounds intense.
It's about being receptive to feedback, even when it's tough to hear.
Be open to criticism.
Think of a personal trainer pushing you to do that extra rep.
It's tough in the moment, but it gets results.
It's about seeing feedback as a gift, an opportunity to grow.
I'll try to remember that. What other key elements are there?
Transfigure their ideas, Greene says.
Meaning,
Take your mentor's teachings and make them your own.
adapt them to your unique style and situation.
Mention a successful innovator in the listener's field who built upon their mentor's teachings.
Oh yeah, they took their mentor's ideas to a whole new level.
They didn't just imitate, they innovated.
So use the guidance as a springboard, not a crutch.
Precisely. And finally, create a back-and-forth dynamic.
So it's a two-way street.
Respect your mentor, but also communicate openly.
It's a partnership, a collaboration.
Exactly. Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about social intelligence.
Oh yeah, Chapter 4. See people as they are. Mastering social intelligence.
Greene's point here is that technical skills and talent aren't enough.
You got to be able to play the game.
You need to understand people, build relationships.
It's not just about IQ, it's about EQ.
Exactly. He uses that fascinating study from Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers to illustrate this point.
Oh yeah, the one about those high IQ kids?
Yeah, they were brilliant, but many didn't achieve great success.
Why not? They had all the brain power.
They lacked social intelligence,
So they were missing those people skills.
the ability to connect, build relationships, navigate social situations.
It's like having all the ingredients for a cake but not knowing how to bake it.
Perfect analogy. So how does Greene define social intelligence?
I'm curious to hear his take.
The ability to see people's motives, understand their emotions, and anticipate their actions.
Like being a mind reader.
Not quite, but close.
Okay.
It's about understanding what makes people tick.
And why is that so crucial for mastery?
Because humans are complicated creatures.
We're a messy bunch.
Our emotions get in the way.
We're not always rational.
If you can't navigate that complexity,
It's going to be a bumpy ride.
you'll face unnecessary conflicts, challenges that can derail your journey to mastery.
Greene says a big obstacle is our tendency to project our own emotions onto others, right?
Yes, we see the world through our own biases, our assumptions.
It's like we're projecting our own movie onto everyone else.
Exactly. So how do we overcome that?
Give me the antidote.
Develop two types of knowledge: specific knowledge of human nature and general knowledge of universal patterns.
Okay, let's unpack that. What's specific knowledge of human nature?
It's the ability to read individuals accurately, discern their unique character traits, values, and motivations.
So becoming a master detective of human behavior.
Precisely. Now, for the general knowledge of universal patterns, Greene offers a framework: the 7 deadly realities.
Okay, this sounds ominous. What are they?
Envy, conformism, rigidity, self-obsession, laziness, flightiness, and passive aggression.
Wow, quite the list. Which one do you think is most challenging?
They're all tricky, but perhaps the most insidious is choose 1 or 2 of the 7 deadly realities that are most relevant to the listener's field or goals and explain why, providing a brief anecdote or example if possible.
Oh, I can see how that would be a problem.
Once you're aware of these patterns,
You can start to see them in yourself and others.
and navigate social situations more effectively.
Okay, so we know the patterns. Now what?
Greene offers some practical strategies.
Hit me with them.
First, let your work speak for itself.
Focus on delivering results.
Avoid getting caught up in office politics or gossip.
Let your work do the talking.
Exactly. Second, craft the appropriate persona.
Like, put on a mask.
No, not being fake, but understanding that we play different roles in different social contexts.
Adjust your communication style based on the situation.
Exactly. Next, develop self-awareness.
Oh, that's a tough one.
See yourself as others see you.
Easier said than done.
It requires honesty, a willingness to confront your flaws.
I'll try my best. What's the last strategy?
This one's a bit tongue-in-cheek. Suffer fools gladly.
Meaning,
Except that foolishness is part of human nature.
we've all been there.
Don't get frustrated. Learn to tolerate it.
Choose your battles wisely.
Exactly. Now, on to another essential ingredient for mastery. Creativity.
Yes. Chapter 5. Awaken the dimensional mind. Unleashing creativity.
This is about pushing beyond mastering existing rules,
Becoming an innovator.
creating something truly new and original.
But what holds most people back from expressing their creativity?
Fear, I think.
Fear of failure?
Fear of judgment, the unknown.
That inner critic saying, you're not good enough.
Exactly. It makes us play it safe, stifle our creativity.
So how do we overcome this fear and unleash that creative beast?
Greene suggests developing the dimensional mind,
Okay, I'm listening.
a mind that sees reality in all its complexity, thinks outside the box,
Expanding our mental horizons.
challenging our assumptions, embracing new perspectives.
The video breaks down this process into 3 stages.
The creative task, creative strategies, and the creative breakthrough.
Okay, walk me through them. Starting with the creative task, what makes a good one?
It needs to excite you,
Something that gets you fired up,
push you beyond your comfort zone.
but still be grounded in reality.
So ambitious but practical.
Makes sense.
And Greene emphasizes the importance of obsession.
Upset.
A certain level of it is needed to sustain the energy and focus.
Like being totally immersed in your work.
Finding that sweet spot where the challenge is exhilarating and demanding.
All right, got my creative task, now what?
Time for some creative strategies.
Lay him on me.
Cultivate negative capability.
What in the world is that?
It's a term from the poet John Keats. It means being comfortable with uncertainty,
Not knowing all the answers.
allowing space for new ideas to emerge.
That's tough for someone who likes to be in control.
It requires letting go, trusting the process.
Okay, what's next?
Allow for serendipity.
Like happy accidents.
Embrace those unexpected insights.
Inspiration can come from anywhere, right?
Exactly. Next, engage in the current. Immerse yourself in your work.
Get lost in the flow.
Allow for a dynamic exchange between your thoughts and the reality you're engaging with.
So surrender to the creative energy.
Trust that the insights will come.
What do you think about this one?
I think it's about letting go of trying to force creativity.
Letting it flow naturally.
Exactly. What stands out to you?
I like the idea of surrendering to the creative flow.
It's powerful.
Okay, what else?
Alter your perspective.
In what way?
Look at problems from different angles.
Challenge your assumptions.
Seek out different viewpoints.
Shake things up a bit.
And finally, revert to primal intelligence.
Now, this sounds interesting.
Engage your senses. Tap into your intuition.
Listen to your gut.
Explore nonverbal forms of expression.
Accessing a deeper level of intelligence.
Exactly. It's about honoring the wisdom of the body and the intuition.
Okay, so we've chosen our creative task. We're using these strategies.
But when do the breakthroughs happen?
That's the million-dollar question.
That's the third stage, the creative breakthrough.
Tell me more.
Greene believes these breakthroughs often occur during moments of high tension,
Like pressure creates diamonds.
followed by a period of release.
So tension and then relaxation.
Exactly. He talks about the power of deadlines, both real and self-imposed.
Deadlines can be motivating, but also stressful.
They create urgency, focus our attention,
Force us to make decisions.
which can lead to unexpected insights.
But he also emphasizes stepping away from the problem.
Give your mind a break.
Let the unconscious work its magic.
Take a walk. Listen to music. Get some sleep.
Sometimes the best ideas come when you're not actively trying to think.
Exactly.
Now, what about those emotional pitfalls that can sabotage our creative efforts?
Ah, yes. Greene identifies several.
Like what?
Complacency, conservatism, dependency, impatience, grandiosity, and inflexibility.
Wow, that's a lot to unpack. Let's start with complacency.
Greene warns against thinking you've arrived.
Resting on your laurels.
Never stop learning, never stop growing.
They'll stay hungry, stay foolish, right?
Have you ever struggled with complacency?
Oh, absolutely. Host shares a brief anecdote about a time they struggled with complacency in their own life, highlighting the importance of continuous learning and growth.
It's easy to fall into that trap.
It's a constant battle.
What about conservatism?
How does that kill creativity?
Conservatism breeds a fear of risk-taking.
Sticking to what's safe and familiar.
The enemy of creativity.
So choose creativity over comfort.
Exactly.
What about dependency?
That need for constant reassurance, approval from others.
Afraid to trust your own judgment.
You got to break free from that.
Believing yourself.
Rest your cut.
Push your work out there, even if it's not perfect.
Exactly. What about impatience?
Ooh, that's a big one for me.
Well, mastery takes time.
But we live in a world of instant gratification.
You got to find pleasure in the process itself.
Not just rushing to the finish line.
Appreciate the small wins along the way.
Enjoy the journey, not just the destination.
Exactly. Now, what about grandiosity?
The ego trap.
That desire for attention and praise.
It can distract us from the real work.
Focus on mastery itself as the reward.
Find satisfaction in the work itself.
True creativity is about authentic self-expression.
Not seeking external validation.
Exactly. And lastly, inflexibility.
Being stuck in our ways.
You got to challenge your assumptions.
Be open to new ideas.
Experiment with different approaches.
Stay flexible.
Exactly. Now, in addition to these pitfalls, Greene offers 9 concrete strategies for cultivating creativity.
Okay, give me those strategies. Starting with
Finding your authentic voice.
expressing yourself in a unique way.
After absorbing the rules, find your own style.
Stand out from the crowd.
Exactly. Next, become a supreme hunter for insightful facts.
Always be on the lookout for valuable information.
Cultivate curiosity.
Be a knowledge seeker.
The third strategy is developing mechanical intelligence
Mastering the technical aspects.
until they become second nature.
So you can focus on the higher level creative tasks.
Exactly. Next, focus and patience.
2 things I need to work on.
Creativity is a marathon, not a sprint.
It takes time and dedication.
Embrace the slow, iterative process.
No quick fixes here.
The fifth strategy is the open field.
What's that?
Finding a unique niche where you can innovate.
Carve out your own space.
Don't try to compete in a crowded marketplace.
Create your own game.
Exactly. Next, connect your work to a higher purpose.
What he calls the high end.
Find a deeper meaning behind your creative efforts.
It's not just about you. It's about something bigger.
Exactly. What do you think about that?
I think that sense of purpose can be really motivating.
It gives your work meaning.
Connects you to something larger than yourself.
Absolutely. Now, the seventh strategy is embracing the evolutionary hijack.
Sounds a bit scary.
It's about being adaptable.
Willing to change course.
The creative process is unpredictable.
So be flexible, open to new information.
Let go of your attachment to your initial ideas.
Okay, makes sense. What's next?
Adopting a holistic approach, dimensional thinking,
We
look at problems from multiple perspectives,
see the interconnectedness of things.
integrate different sources of knowledge.
So see the whole picture.
Exactly. And finally, alchemical creativity.
That sounds mystical.
Explore the unconscious mind, the tension of opposites,
So our dreams, our intuitions.
those unresolved tensions within us.
It's about embracing the paradox.
Creativity often arises from the tension between opposing forces,
The light and the shadow.
the known and the unknown.
It's a powerful image.
It is. And it's a reminder that creativity is not always about logic and reason. It's also about embracing those intuitive leaps and those moments of unexpected insight.
So we've explored those emotional pitfalls to watch out for. But we've also got these 9 concrete strategies for nurturing our creativity. That feels really empowering. But there's one final piece of the mastery puzzle we need to explore: intuition.
Ah, yes. This is where Greene's work takes us beyond the conscious rational mind and into the realm of instinct, insight, and a deeper understanding that can't always be explained or articulated.
In the final chapter, he talks about fusing the intuitive with the rationale to access a higher intelligence.
That's right. And it's important to note that he doesn't present intuition as some magical ability. It's a skill honed through deep immersion and practice in your chosen field.
So the more we immerse ourselves, the more attuned we become to those subtle patterns and cues that inform our intuition.
Exactly. Think about a seasoned chess player. They can often sense the best move instinctively based on years of experience and pattern recognition. As we gain experience, we see things others miss, make connections that weren't obvious before, and anticipate outcomes with uncanny accuracy.
It's like our conscious mind catches up with our unconscious understanding, that gut feeling that something is right or wrong.
Precisely. And the video talks about the synergy of intuition and rational thought, how they work together to create this higher form of intelligence.
It seems like it's about finding that sweet spot where analysis and insight complement each other.
Exactly. It's not about intuition versus reason. It's about an intuition and reason working together for a more holistic understanding. What do you think about that?
It makes sense to me. It's like using both sides of your brain, the logical and the creative, to create something truly innovative and insightful.
That's a great way to put it. Green offers several practical approaches to cultivate mastery through this intuitive intelligence. The first one is connecting to your environment, harnessing those primal powers.
That sounds almost spiritual. What does he mean by that?
Think of it like developing a deeper connection with your surroundings. Pay attention to those subtle cues and patterns that often go unnoticed, and learn to work in harmony with the natural forces at play. It's like how a surfer learns to read the waves, becoming one with the ocean's energy.
So it's about becoming more attuned to the environment, both physical and social, to gain a deeper understanding of how things work.
Exactly. Now, the next approach is playing to your strengths, working with the current. This is about identifying your natural talents and focusing your efforts where you excel most naturally. It's like recognizing that a fish is meant to swim, not climb trees.
That's a great analogy. It reminds me of that quote, "Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid."
That's exactly what Green is getting at. Focus on your strengths and let them carry you forward.
What's the next approach he suggests for cultivating mastery?
Transforming yourself through practice. Green emphasizes the importance of internalizing the fundamentals of your craft until they become second nature, what he calls developing the fingertip feel.
It's like that deep, embodied knowing that comes from years of dedicated practice,
Right.
where the skills become so ingrained that you can perform them almost without thinking.
Exactly. Imagine a skilled musician who spent years practicing scales and chords. They can now play effortlessly, their fingers dancing across the instrument.
So it's not just about understanding the theory, it's about that intuitive, embodied knowing that comes from experience. What else does Green suggest?
He talks about internalizing the details connecting with the life force of your work. It's about moving beyond a superficial understanding to a deeper, more intuitive grasp of its essence.
So it's not just going through the motions, it's about feeling the energy and the passion behind the work. What stands out to you about that?
For me, it's about recognizing that mastery is not just about technical proficiency. It's also about that intangible element of soul, that connection to something deeper that infuses the work with meaning and purpose.
That makes a lot of sense. What's the next approach for cultivating mastery?
Green encourages widening your vision and adopting a global perspective.
So it's about looking beyond the immediate details of our work to see the bigger picture, understanding how our work fits into a larger context, and anticipating future trends and challenges.
Exactly. Think of it like this. Instead of just focusing on the individual trees, you zoom out to see the whole forest. You see how the trees connect and interact, you understand the ecosystem, and you can anticipate how changes in one part of the forest might affect the rest.
It's about developing a more strategic and holistic view of our field, understanding the interconnectedness of things, and seeing the forest for the trees.
Precisely. Now, the next approach is about stepping outside of ourselves and seeing the world through different eyes, submitting to the other, developing the inside-out perspective.
Okay, that's a new one for me. What does he mean by that?
It's about understanding the world from other people's perspectives, empathizing with their experiences, and recognizing the limitations of our own viewpoint.
So it's about cultivating empathy and acknowledging that our own perspective is just one of many.
Exactly. It's about being able to step into someone else's shoes, to see the world through their eyes, and to understand their motivations, their values, and their experiences. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's such a valuable skill, not just for mastery, but for life in general. It's about moving beyond our own egocentric perspective and recognizing the inherent interconnectedness of all things.
I couldn't agree more. And finally, the last approach for cultivating mastery is synthesizing all forms of knowledge, becoming what Greene calls the universal man-woman.
That sounds like a tall order. What does he mean by that?
It's about drawing on knowledge and insights from diverse fields and disciplines, connecting seemingly disparate ideas, and integrating different perspectives to create a more holistic and nuanced understanding of the world.
So it's about being a lifelong learner, embracing intellectual curiosity, and constantly seeking out new knowledge and experiences to expand our horizons.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that all knowledge is interconnected and that we can gain valuable insights by exploring different fields and perspectives.
So we've reached the end of our deep dive into Robert Greene's Mastery, and I have to say, it's been an incredibly rich and inspiring journey. We've covered so much ground. Finding our life's task, navigating the apprenticeship, the power of mentorship, the importance of social intelligence, unlocking our creativity, and tapping into the power of intuition.
It's been a fascinating exploration of the key principles and strategies that can guide us on our own journeys to mastery.
I love how Greene's approach is so holistic. It's not just about mastering a specific skill, it's about developing our whole selves, cultivating our minds, our hearts, and our spirits.
It's about becoming more fully human, more aware, more connected, and more creative in everything we do.
Before we wrap up, I want to highlight a few key takeaways that really resonated with me. First, the importance of aligning with our life's task, that inner force that propels us towards mastery.
It's about finding work that speaks to our deepest passions and talents, work that feels more like a calling than just a job.
Second, the transformative power of the mentor-protege relationship.
Having a guide who can share their wisdom, challenge our assumptions, and support us on our journey can make all the difference.
Third, the often overlooked but essential role of social intelligence.
Mastering the art of human interaction, understanding people's motivations and emotions, and navigating social dynamics effectively is crucial for success in any field.
Fourth, the need to cultivate creativity by awakening the dimensional mind.
That's right. It's about embracing uncertainty, challenging our assumptions, and exploring new perspectives to unlock our creative potential.
And finally, the power of fusing the intuitive with the rational, accessing a higher form of intelligence that goes beyond conscious thought.
It's about developing our intuition through deep immersion in our work, trusting our gut feelings, and integrating those insights with our rational analysis.
This deep dive has really inspired me to apply these principles to my own life and work.
Me too. It's a powerful roadmap for anyone seeking to achieve mastery, and I encourage our listeners to explore these ideas further.
Before we sign off, I want to leave you with a final thought-provoking question. You've learned about the importance of embracing discomfort for growth, of pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone to reach new levels of mastery.
It's about recognizing that true growth often happens when we're willing to step outside of what feels safe and familiar.
So what's one area where you could intentionally seek out a challenge this week? Something that pushes your boundaries and helps you grow.
It could be related to your work, your personal life, or your creative pursuits. The key is to choose discomfort, trust the process, and see it as an opportunity for growth.
So keep diving deep, keep exploring, and keep striving for mastery in all you do.
Yeah,
It's so easy to just stick with what we know.
stay in that comfort zone.
But Greene's like, nope, got to push those boundaries.
Discomfort is where the real growth happens.
It's a reminder to actively seek out those challenges.
Don't shy away from them.
And it doesn't have to be this huge, scary thing.
Right, small steps.
Maybe it's taking on a new project at work,
Or learning a new skill.
even having a tough conversation you've been putting off.
Those little things can make a big difference.
They add up over time.
It's all about those intentional choices.
Choosing growth over comfort.
Exactly.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive into mastery,
It's been quite a journey.
I'm feeling super inspired to put all this into practice.
Me too. It's really practical advice.
Not just theory, but actionable steps.
It's a roadmap for anyone who wants to level up.
And I hope you're feeling inspired too, listeners.
If you want to delve deeper, definitely check out Greene's book.
It's full of wisdom.
And remember, mastery isn't about being perfect.
It's about the journey,
It's about progress, continuous learning.
becoming the best version of yourself.
And that's a lifelong pursuit.
So keep diving deep, keep exploring,
Keep pushing those boundaries.
and never stop learning and growing.
Until next time, folks.
Keep striving for excellence.